Start off with the NSE 20. We saw a flat, lackluster day in today's session, so a little bit of money taken off the table today, and of course pretty much the same picture with what we saw in yesterday's session. What is driving the markets today?
Okay, today we have first with the gainers, we have Housing Finance Corporation. It is on the back of the successful bond issue. It has really gained a few shillings on that. This is basically the housing sector has gained because the past 3 months we've seen an 8.8 increase in housing prices. We also have the Mumias Sugar company, which also has gained tremendously. This is on the back of the law that was passed to blend petrol with ethanol. Mumia is one of the largest ethanol producers in Kenya, and this is going to be to boost their revenue streams. So this is a stock that a lot of investors are pouring their money into. We also have the Safaricom. In spite of all the hitches it's been having because of the tariff cuts with the other mobile providers, we have seen them, actually the stock is trading at about 4.9, which is just 10 cents shy of the 5 shillings IPO offer pricing. Now, yesterday, Safaricom teamed up with the Barclays Bank so that the account holders in Barclays Bank can withdraw or deposit on the M-Pesa platform. This is a sign of confidence on the brand of Safaricom. So this is we're bound to see it going up further beyond the 5 shilling mark. However, on the losers, we have KenGen. KenGen reported some drop in their profits because of adverse weather conditions which were experienced in the first part of the year, because mainly they just deal with the hydropower. They rely about 70% on hydropower. However, they are putting steps to diversify their sources of energy through the wind power. They're also concentrating on geothermal, trying to put about 280 megawatts of geothermal. There's also, by the end of next year, there's also a plant at Kipevu, which is a thermal plant, which is going to put in about 120 megawatts. So going forward, these weather conditions are not going to form a major part of
well, Karanja, let's touch further into KenGen. I mean, we know these numbers really disappointed the market, and we also know that they've got plans to diversify further into geothermal operations as well. Just looking at how the share price has performed this year, we know that KenGen has gained around 10.5%, sitting at around 16.75 shillings, and then we've got the likes of KPLC, that share price rising around 30% year to date. So a massive difference with both of these energy operators, and we know that it really has to do with the fact that the one is more diversified than the other. Would you be buying KenGen at these levels, given the fact that they are going to change their outlook quite significantly?
Actually, I think I would buy KenGen because KenGen at the moment is still underpriced, in my opinion, in the sense that because of the plans that they're putting in place, they're going to have more reliable energy, because geothermal and wind are not dependent on weather as opposed to hydropower. On the side of KPLC, because KPLC is basically a distribution, they've had an uphand on KenGen in the sense that their operations have not been interfered with, because they've got some massive inflows in terms of World Bank, IFC, ADB, in terms of upgrading their grid lines. And so they have been able to maintain almost top level peak performance on their production. That's why there's a difference on their shares. However, KenGen is still a good buy at this point.
Well, just looking at housing finance, and you mentioned that the stock has been performing quite well, and we know that house prices have also increased significantly. You're talking about 8.8%, and of course we have been seeing property prices, in fact, outperforming the NSE 20 over the last 10 years. Would you be buying into housing finance, given the fact that the stock has had a good run of late?
Housing finance is a stock that still has room for growth, in the sense that with the new influx of cash, they'll be able to undertake larger projects, and with the increasing growth of the middle class, so the demand for housing is still outstrips supply. So they are always going to be lagging behind in terms of supply. And with the increase in prices, this is going to continue maybe for the next 2 to 3 years, because a bubble is not likely at this point in time, because there's still a lot of people who are not homeowners. Until we get a critical mass, then maybe it might take the next 3 to 5 years. But at the point in time, they're still on a growth
Karanja, very
path.
quickly, looking at Safaricom, why do you think that it's come under so much pressure, given the fact that it has come up with new initiatives? We know that, as you mentioned, Barclays Bank being its new partner, it's working with Equity Bank, so too with KCB. Very quickly, please.
Okay, so Safaricom has come under pressure because it was just actually a matter of perception. Because when the rivals, Zain, started slashing their tariffs, there was a conception that their profits might come down and hence make it unattractive. But this has been dispelled.